Oh,
assuming you had cooldowns and yeah.
so the question you asked was when do you know when you should change positions or rotate back or drop from high ground? Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like you said, it's a dynamic question. It kind of depends on the situation. It depends on how good is the position you're trying to defend. It depends on what comp are they running, what comp are you running. Are they exerting a lot of pressure on you to make you drop, or does your team composition have enough defense to be able to maintain the position you're in? So, like you said, it is dynamic. Kind of depends on the situation. If they have like a dive comp and they dive up on you, right? If it's a position you don't really care about, and you have another position that's super open, you can just back up to and retreat to. Well, then there's no
Uh-huh.
reason not to retreat. If you want to defend the position because your position is really good, then the question becomes, do you have a team comp that's able to do that, right? Like if you're running something that can kind of do a little bit of anti-dive and fend them off, then try to fend them off.
Uh-huh.
If it's just you, or you and like one other DPS up on the high ground and they're diving you with three people, then you're probably not going to be able to fend them off, right? You're going to need to
Yeah.
just drop back and get off. Now,
Can
good.
I give you a hypothetical?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we're on Kings Row, right? We're defending first hill, or well, we're defending the hill. And so when you're attacking, you go through that first choke point by the bus, and
Mm-hmm.
you're kind of like the back left corner of the hill, that like kind of ledge, and then a hallway, and then another ledge to the right of it.
Or
Um,
I can pull up the map really quickly. That
yeah.
might help you,
Um, yeah.
or just might help visualize what we're talking about here. So, but you're talking about by the bus, and so there's a ledge.
Yeah,
You're
like let's
talking
say you're
about
attacking
up
and
in the middle.
you're looking at the hill from that first choke, kind of by the statue,
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at the hill, attacking it, and kind of behind the hill to the right on the second level is
Mm-hmm.
that like ledge, then a hallway, then another
Talking
ledge.
about this one right here.
Um, Here,
Or are you talking about over here?
hang on, let me get you.
Oh, sorry, I'm not streaming yet. Whoopsie, my bad.
Oh, okay.
I was like busy getting into the game, and didn't realize I wasn't streaming.
Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So you're talking about this room over here, or are you talking about this up here?
to your left a little bit, left of the statue.
Left of the statue. So you're talking about over here?
Yeah. There. And then you've got the hallway kind of above where the thing comes out.
So you're talking about over here?
Yeah, exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
like let's say I'm on a plane up here, playing off the
Mm-hmm.
hallway, maybe on the right ledge. Um, yeah, like over here somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's me up there. Our comp is, myself and Kiri, and then the two BS and tank. They wouldn't be able to come up and help, but Kiri
Mm-hmm.
obviously could. She could TP to me, she could climb up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say there's a monkey on the other team, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just the monkey diving me up here. So the tank and the DPS, they can't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the DPS could shoot the shield from or the bubble from down low,
Yeah.
but in terms of like being on me with me applying
Mm-hmm.
pressure and defense, they couldn't do that. Just the
Yeah.
Kiri could.
So if you're
Um,
unable to do anything to kill him or pressure him out by yourself, like you said, if you don't have other teammates up here with you, and you don't have any other teammates that can pressure to him if he places a bubble down,
mhm.
then I mean you can sleep him when he comes up here. But then if you can't do anything to pressure him away, then he's just gonna come and chase after you. I mean,
Right.
if you rotate around like this, then he's probably still gonna be able to kind of come and catch you. Maybe you can rotate
Uh-huh.
and drop from the back here, or you can just drop because if you sleep him, you can just drop from the front and run to your team. Kind of depends on like how far they're pushed in the point. If they're already on point, then you might not want to do the point rotation because
Uh-huh.
then they're all going to be able to see you and shoot at you, right? Or Monkey can, if you like drop underneath, Monkey can just drop on you when he's done being slept. But if you run up to
Right.
the high ground here, you can like drop back and go from behind, or maybe try to
Okay.
stick up top here. But then Monkey can probably just dive you again, pretty easy.
What I just realized is I never play up here as Ana.
Hmm.
Is this like a good starting power position?
This is a
Maybe
pretty
not here, but to the right a little bit, so then the enemies can't see you.
Like over here? Or
Yeah,
over
so if the
here?
enemies push up, you can see them. Yeah, right where you just were.
Where was it this way?
Um,
Um,
that kind of middle window.
I would say that this is like, so this high ground's pretty decent, right? If you're up on this high ground, you're going to, right,
Yeah.
we're checking off as many boxes as we can. Yes, we have cover. Yes, we have high ground. If we're trying to heal up our teammates, for the most part, you can, from here, you can line of sight the enemy team. The problem with this window is that you can't really do that. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really line of
Because
sight the
yeah, I
enemy
like
team.
throwing nades at the choke point.
Yep, and like yeah, exactly. You can't even see the choke from there either. So that point you can definitely rotate over here, but this part's probably better for visibility and being
Okay.
able to line of sight the enemy team where you can
I
still heal teammates but you can't see it down there.
Right. I think typically I'll play where you're looking at right now, kind of the outside of hotel on the ground
Yeah,
floor.
that's
I'll play
another
around
good
there.
option. It
Yeah.
honestly, it's probably gonna depend on the scenario a little bit. Like, what are they running? Um,
Yeah.
Playing down there opens up. It's gonna be closer to your team. So if they're running a dive, that might be better to be with your team than off on your own,
Hmm.
because then you don't have to go through that whole rotation if you're already with them to begin with. If you
Uh-huh.
know that they're not going to be with you up on high ground, but then if they're on other things, then being up on the high ground can just keep you safer and give you visibility and things. The other benefit
Right.
of hotel is the ability to maybe go for some off angles, but you don't always. There might be people pressuring the hotel,
Hmm.
or it just might take too long anyways. So high ground here is gonna be pretty decent unless they're contesting you, and then you can be down there.
Okay.
That's also fine.
Okay. Yeah, I found myself, so I like playing down there by hotel, kind of the outside, going for the
Mhm.
off angle or so. My issue is, let's say there's like a bastion or something that applies a
Mhm.
lot of pressure, and I mean, it's probably just a lack of awareness, but sometimes I'll get caught off guard and I just don't know where to peel back.
So if they're
Um,
pressuring you, yeah, the first thing is that
yeah.
you want to pay extra close attention to that right side. You don't want to be playing over here because then they can see you, and from
Uh-huh.
there, you can maybe play behind choke if you get pressured, but then this just gives you very limited visibility over the whole fight and over your
Right.
teammates. So this is kind of like a last resort if they're exerting a ton of pressure on you, then you can back up, but you also have to go through the open to get over here.
Right. That's
Usually.
my biggest problem right
Yeah.
there.
Usually you go deeper into the corner to if they're pushing out on the point.
Uh-huh.
Instead of being right here, you're gonna keep going deeper to this corner so that they can see you less, and you can heal up your teammates who are contesting point.
Okay.
The only thing you have to be careful of is watching people to contest you from over here, which you can do primarily with sleep and nade, and just trying to put pressure on them, and just being aware and watching if they have anybody flanking through there.
Okay.
And then, obviously, if somebody is, call it or ping it, and try to back up away from there. Try to have your teammates contest them. Things like that. If they're coming at you from main and over here, and you have a teammate blocking, you can try to make the rotation over. You just have to be careful about it.
Uh-huh. That's one thing I don't do enough is playing like the body of my tank or
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
Like I'll play with the tank as you should, but then sometimes I'll catch myself like not playing to either the tank's abilities, like a Rhine shield, or literally playing like inside them just so I'm harder to hit.
Yep. For sure.
Um, yeah. All
Okay.
right.
Any other questions there?
Um, Unrelated. I saw so back in Overwatch 1 there was like
Mhm.
a Ana sleep dart timing, like like the shoot nade shoot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Is that such a thing anymore?
Yes, still the same thing. Where when you're, here, I can pull
You
it up
kind of
in a
like do it
training range.
right at the end so the waking animation plays out or something.
Yeah, when you're sleeping someone. So generally speaking, that's just your fastest form of shooting. Actually, with sleeping, I'm not sure if there's still that waking animation, but in general, shoot nade shoot is your fastest ability combo because it kind of animation cancels into each other. So you
Right.
can go shoot nade, shoot melee, and that's a kill on somebody.
Hmm.
Um, and the melee just gets an extra quick burst damage on them.
Right.
Technically, you can
What is
do a
it?
shoot
30
nade shoot.
damage?
Yeah, technically you can do shoot nade shoot and it'll kill them, but it does it a bit quicker if you get in that melee if you're on top of them. Um,
Uh-huh.
a lot of times the problem is that people will do nade and then shoot, and it's just slower to do it that way. If they're
Hmm.
sleeping, um, let's see, if we do shoot nade shoot, they kind of wake up and they're able to walk around, it looks like, pretty quick. If we wait
Yeah,
to the end of the sleep, I'm not sure if it's any longer. That I know, I remember that used to be an Overwatch 1 thing, but I actually don't know if that's a thing now.
yeah. I was messing around in like the workshop room where you're just shooting bots and stuff. And I couldn't quite get the
Yeah,
full animation, it seems like.
yeah,
And when I was
they
looking
might have
up
shortened it.
online, it seems like it's not a thing, but it might.
Yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't
I
find
think it
anything
might have been.
definitive.
I think it might have been shortened. The main thing is that you'll be able to land the first. You typically you'll be able to land that first shoot nade very
Right.
easily. It's just the
Hmm.
follow up shot that you need to be able to
Depending on
land.
their peel. Yeah.
Yep. So
Okay.
it's usually you just have to land that second follow up shot.
Hmm.
Yeah, it looks about the same.
Hmm.
Alright. Any other questions?
Not right now, no.
No? Okay, cool. Then you want to do something live and try to get some stuff into practice?
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, cool.
You want to do quick play again, or you want to do ranked?
Let's see. I think, honestly, we can probably do ranked. Ranked would be cool.
Okay.
You're just gonna have to stream it.
And... Oh, that's one nice thing about Nitro. I don't have it, but being able to do the 1080p 60.
Yep, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how have games been going the past, like, 2 days?
I haven't played too much, but they've been normal.
Mm-hmm.
There's been much of an improvement, if any,
Mm-hmm.
but I really haven't played all that much.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
a lot of that, it's gonna be, sometimes there's something that'll click in your head, and sometimes it's, slow but steady improvement.
right. So one thing I noticed is, I can probably see it all in my replays, is when I'm sleeping, I do like a little flick
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Yeah,
Like
so,
I do it with shooting too, and it's
mhm.
like this weird, flashy, trying to, get a clip or so. I don't know. It's this
Yeah.
weird.
When it comes to flicking, flicking is needed in some scenarios, but it's not needed in
Uh-huh.
others, right? Like you'll need to flick if anytime someone's moving very quickly, or you need to move your mouse very quickly, right? So such
Hmm.
as, imagine someone sneaks up behind you, or you're trying to shoot a tracer who's blinking around you, or let's say you're just adjusting to acquire a new target, right? Those are all situations where flicking will be necessary, but it's not necessary if you're already aiming straight at somebody, right? Then
Right.
then it can just kind of throw you off target sometimes. So in those cases, you just want to, you can do like tiny micro flicks or tracking or crosshair placement. You don't want to do very large flicks if you're right on top of somebody already.
Hmm. Cute, right?
Say that again.
Oh my gosh, I'm not cute. What the? Wait. Oh, that's why. New version of Overwatch.
Oh, I see.
I swear I was cute. That was weird. I'm like, why don't I see a timer?
That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if it's the Alari patch.
Mm.
I'm curious.
Please
Uh,
exit restart. Yeah, I'll probably have to do that too.
yeah.
Then. Guess I can look up the patch notes real quick.
There is any I can't find. What's the size? There. January
Mm,
17th.
no, it's yesterday.
Oh yeah. Fix an issue preventing Alari's ammunition from working correctly. But that was for yesterday. Huh. Oh,
Maybe.
they fixed the enemy pinging. That's really nice. There's this weird bug where you would
Mm.
double ping, but it would just be, the blue ping.
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
That's nice.
maybe it's just like a bug fix or something that they haven't posted yet.
Yeah. I'm curious, when you close out of Overwatch, does your Blizzard or the Battle.net launcher, does this show Overwatch being played for like another, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 minutes?
Sometimes, not all the time. Especially, I think when I'm on my main computer, my desktop, it won't do that as much. But on my laptop, it'll do that sometimes. Where I'll close out of it and try to reopen it, and then it won't. It'll show that I'm
It
playing.
doesn't like register.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think if it does that, if you really need to fix it, you can go and end it in the task manager. You can end the
Yeah,
process
I do
straight.
that. I have to do that every
Mm.
time.
That stinks.
It sucks. I don't know why, but it's downloading very slowly. There we go. All right, relaunching.
All right.
Mm.
Sounds good. So you can just queue up when you get in. We'll be looking to try to put things into practice as you're playing. So I'll
Hmm.
try to give you some reminders. But the main thing, just like you said, we'll do put a bit of focus into positioning. And last time I think it was positioning and ability usage, right? Oh,
Yeah.
that was a quick game.
Like the yeah, which is bad because my game gets framey for like 2 minutes. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. Um, yeah, like the one on what was it, Havana, my sleeps and nades were awful.
Mm.
Um, but yeah.
Yep. So, um, put in effort. We're probably primarily going to put effort into those two things.
Uh-huh.
I will be giving you. It's going to be harder to, maybe a bit easier to give you reminders on your positioning as you're playing than it will be with ability usage. Like I can mention it, but just as you're playing, try to
Right.
keep your focus on those two things. Maybe we can say positioning primarily. Just make sure we're not like dropping from high grounds. Um, Cover high grounds, off angles. Make sure you're proper ranging, things like that.
Okay.
And then ability usage, I think we were saying that like quality is really important and actually landing it.
This will be a good test because those two bridges. Come on, game.
No, you're lagging.
Just it just gets weird and framey. I don't know. But then like right now it's 80 and then I'll kick back up to 165.
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of you.
There we go. Oh, uh, almost. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So this is a good spot, but if your team's all leaving your LOS, then being with your team is more
Yeah,
important than being in a good position. Yep, remember that.
I
Like,
noticed they have Tracer and Sojourns. They're gonna
mm,
dive.
yep.
Kiri could dive.
Pipe down. Pushing the barricade. Don't stay sharp.
Uh, hopefully our Lari goes Kiri.
Pay attention.
Yep. Jinx. Make sure to maintain LOS on him. Don't expect teammates to come to you unless they are like really out of position. If you can easily get to them, then go get to them. Because they might not always know where you are.
Right. Okay. Right, because I can see them easier than.
So right now we could be on high ground, like, or we could have been in between the fight. Really, is that
Yeah.
the time to
See,
rotate.
that's one thing I'm bad about is like I'll think of it mid-fight. I'm like, oh, I could be here instead, and then I make the mistake of essentially going a man down because we're trying to. See, there it is, that little flick. I don't know why they're not going for me.
Okay. If you don't think
See,
you
then
can,
I'll
just let him kill you. There you go. So just remember, like, in between fights is the best time to be rotating because there's nothing going on, so you can take time out to go and get to high grounds and things like that. But you can't really do that in the middle of the fight if it's going to be a long rotation.
Yeah. So what do you think like my priority of nanoing order is in terms of heroes? The way I see it is like soldier first, and nano visor is really good. Because they don't have any shields, so they can't really block that well. And then Zarya, if she's charged up and she is ult. See, now I'm caught up in the open.
Yep, so make sure you're going with your team. Because your whole team went right side, you went left side. So make sure to keep them. Also, keep your ears open, because Soldier did ult there.
I did not hear that.
I still have some fight in me. We need to put a
Yep, so I
stop
agree.
to their
Nano
push.
Visor is best. After that, Nano Tracer is very inconsistent because skill shots usually are not going to be the way to go. Nano Zarya is probably your number 2, but Nano Visor is going to be pretty big. But Nano tanks, you get the value of lots of healing, good damage reduction, as well as consistent damage.
Slow down. I've slept one.
So I didn't want to waste my nade on that because I didn't think that.
Yeah, at the very least you can like
nobody
do
was acting on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess put a shot in her. Or
yeah,
something.
at the very least do a shoot melee, because then that forces the recall.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because she just blinked out, or not blinked, but. Oh, hello. Oh.
If you got teammates, don't feel like that's like a dangerous fight to take.
No. So she used that.
Make sure not on the open.
I just needed a push.
Yep. If it's 2v1, don't be afraid to to go and duel the Kiriko. We're kind of still running away from it, even though we had our Zarya.
So we're now. Yeah.
Yeah, but think about where the fight's going to be, because this is good place to be if the fight's going to be happening on cart here, but cart's
right, but now it's going to be. Do you think it's an issue to like be here until it really starts to turn? Oh.
No, because I think you can probably just be with your teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we can just be a little bit closer forwards, so we can actually land abilities. Massive nade.
So one thing I'm looking out for is the Kiri's kind of being a little too loose with the Suzus. Oh.
They've taken possession of the robot.
Use your nade on her if she's like right in between, because you can get your Zarya and her too.
Yeah. Hopefully my Kiri comes to me.
Fire at will. I will fire. I will lead us to victory. Come on, Kiri.
Enough whining. You're fine.
See that sleep there, that wouldn't have really done much, I feel like.
Yeah, and then also maybe just like, a bit rushed too. She's going around the corner.
Yeah. Like I knew she was gonna be gone, but I still kind of went for it. So now that the bot's already there, I think Here I'm gonna
Yep.
try to play off of that.
Yep. Good idea. Because then you have cover to work with, and you can block from both angles. Great nade. Because you're getting the heals and damage value out of it, and anti-value.
So now I'm gonna play up here.
Yep, exactly. Taking the high ground between fights. Once cart pulls around that, it's starting to pull around that corner, then we probably want to be closer. Okay, we want to be thinking about who we're nanoing here.
He's gonna have. I'm gonna hold sleep here. He's looking for Blossom. I should have been walking back sooner.
So we weren't completely disengaging there when we had 4 people alive. So you're backing out when you're down 1 person. Is just remember that's not a lost fight yet. That's just a disadvantage.
Right. Yeah, I think I waiting for that Blossom. I thought for sure it was gonna come. But it never did, and so I was playing like too passive that whole fight. So I was kind of just waiting to use that. All right, so we're down 2.
They're pushing you.
I'll pull back.
They're catching up to us. My ultimate is almost
No recovery.
See, this angle's kind of weird because I gotta like peek out to. I don't know what I was doing there. I've been holding on to my nano for too long.
fire at will.
Happy to assist.
Nice.
They never learn.
Yeah, other minor things you're doing. Firstly, when you're in danger, request healing, so your other support knows to look at you and knows where you're at.
Yeah, I'm bad about that.
Yeah, press tab a little bit more frequently so you can see what ults we have. We're not very frequently checking, what did they swap to? What did we swap to? Do we have visor? We're just kind of popping
in
it
trouble.
on Zarya without checking visor at all.
That must sting. Taking damage. Enemy in sight. I'm here. Keep fighting. Eyes on a target.
Going here.
Tactical visor activated.
Target.
The Reaper has no fade. He's an easy target.
Time for the reckoning. This ends now.
Okay.
I seemed
So,
like a bad fight.
positioning was decent there. Maybe could have gotten quicker value out of abilities.
Lissa dem Tier.
When we died, maybe we left cover a little bit.
I think one thing I'm doing poorly is kind of being a little too reactionary to like that Blossom that I was playing off, or the I'm looking for that Suzu, you know.
Very nice.
The enemy has taken the lead.
So now we all walk.
Come on now. Check to it.
No Suzu.
Enemy in sight. Reyna.
Winnable.
Do not leave the robot side.
So we're gonna have Nano soon.
What's here?
Another thing I'm guilty of doing is like I feel like I'm the one that has to stay on cart. So that a lot of fights here at the end, I'll like kind of just give up cover. Because I'm just so terrified of C9ing.
Yep. Just trusting your teammates to touch it unless you really need to do it.
Fire at will. This ends now.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Yeah.
Okay. If you know that you have a grav, right? Because once again, team comp dictates playstyle, and ultimates make a big difference. If you know you have a grav, save your nade for it. right? Because then that's a
Yeah.
easy guaranteed, like, 2-3 man nade that you can get out of it. Same thing with, like, how many times did we nanovisor that game?
None.
None, right? And you had that as an option the entire time, but we never took it, right? So little things that we can be doing that can have big impact. Other thing to note, 35% sleep dart accuracy, right? So
No bueno.
I think nades did a lot better that game. I think you were landing a lot more of them. I think ultimate usage struggled, sleep dart usage struggled. Overall, I think that you are struggling in a lot of different areas, but just remember, you're not doing like horribly in any particular thing, but you're also not doing great in any particular thing. You're just kind of
Uh-huh.
you just need a medium amount of work on everything, and that's okay.
Right.
That's how it is sometimes. You just
But
gotta
that's
make
not how
sure.
you climb.
Yeah, but don't try to do everything all at the same time. Focus on something and improve on it, and then move to the next thing. So right now,
Right.
I'd say,
Would you call that the improvement cycle?
yeah. Yep. So, in that last game, I think you did a decent job, honestly, with your positioning, but we just want to make sure that your positioning's consistent, right? That it's not just
Hmm.
going in and out game to game, right? I don't think that game was lost because of positioning. I think positioning was probably one of the better things you did, but it was one of the better things you did maybe because you were focusing on it while you're playing, right?
Yeah.
So if we get that consistent, then after we get that consistent, then you can move on to ability usage, and you can get that consistent, right? So
Hmm.
that's why, like, even we give like a week between sessions and things like that, so that you can work on that thing, and then
Hmm.
you hopefully can start working on that next thing on the list. So yeah, I'd say focus on it. Like, it kind of depends a little bit on how much you're playing and when you feel comfortable with it.
Uh-huh.
So I would just, if you're playing all the time, if someone's playing like 8 hours a day, it might only take them like 3 days to master something or to make it into a
Right.
habit. But if you're playing 2 to 4 hours or something like that, then you maybe give it like a week or something like that. And after that
Hmm.
point, then it'll be a habit. It kind of just depends per person. How quick are you gonna pick it up? Some people pick up things faster than others. How much time are you putting in? How much of that time is actually like good quality training and practice and things like that? So
Uh-huh.
all different things to think about. So for the moment, I'd say probably because we said in our last session, positioning was number one, right?
Yeah.
I'd say keep that as your number one at least for a little bit longer, a couple more days. And if
Uh-huh.
you feel like you're getting comfortable with it, then you can move on to probably ability usage
Okay.
next
Yeah, I like
after
that.
that. Because right now, like I said in that last game, positioning looked pretty solid, right? Like you were generally, for the most part, I mean, not perfect, but it was better than it was before. You weren't dropping from high grounds out of nowhere. You were generally using cover. Sometimes you leave cover. Sometimes you wouldn't rotate to the high ground. Be careful that you're not.
Nodding off.
Right. It's like um I think I have a decent concept of like what a good position and a bad position is, but in terms of getting between them and kind of navigating them
Mm-hmm.
is something I don't do well. Like
Mm-hmm.
repositioning too late or during a fight, and it's like, oh, this will be a really good spot for this fight that's going on right now. Let me,
Mm-hmm.
readjust. But but then that just completely leaves me out of the fight, and then we're a
Mm-hmm.
man down essentially.
Yep. Yep. You don't
And all
usually
it takes
want
is
to.
that like 10
Yeah,
seconds.
exactly. You don't usually, if you're in the position, you just kind of stick with it if you're in the middle of the fight, but
Yeah,
you want to
because
get
I
into the habit of doing it in the in-between fights, or if you see
yeah,
a time where you're not needed, like
yeah,
downtime
okay,
in the fight.
uh-huh. Yeah, another issue of mine is like I want to take on everything at once, but that's
Hmm.
just not
Yep.
feasible.
So once again,
Um,
we'll focus primarily on
I'm
the
position.
positioning. I'll also, just put a little bit, maybe you have like a little bit thinking on abilities too. And
Uh-huh.
then, probably in the background, there's like a little bit of awareness and awareness and ult usage. Mechanics doesn't seem like too big of a deal. I mean, obviously mechanics for ability usage, but general shooting mechanics aren't too big of a deal. Oh, it looks like your game stopped.
Oh, oh, there
Oh,
we go.
there you
Life of a plat.
go.
Oh, okay. So then my next two, I really like Baptiste and I like Kiri a lot. Um, I'm gonna assume they'll go Ana quickly. So I might as well just go Kiri now because they want to counter the tank. So then I can use Suzu on that. Um, then also being able to climb on this map, I feel like is really nice for the first two hills.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Another thing to think about as well is what team comp are you on right now? Because that's
Right.
and what is the map as well. So I don't think Kiriko's a bad pick, but also Baptiste is a pretty good character for this map as well, and the team comp you're on. What team comp are you currently on?
Kind of poking.
Yeah, poke team comp, right? So or spam, so, same thing. So you're long ranged. What kind of map is this?
In terms of like distance,
Mm-hmm.
long range, then yeah, long range overall,
Long,
I'd say.
yeah, overall, long, open, wide map, right? So it's going to be really good for this kind of comp. And Baptiste just works really well with this as well. Kiriko would do decent. Baptiste probably does a hair better.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to use your self-healing too, if you instead of just relying on your support to heal you up.
Here with the cure.
So then this is where in the point in the fight where like I get a little antsy, because nothing's really happening,
Mm-hmm.
and then I probably get like kind of make a bad move or
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're just gonna wait for something to happen. Don't feel like the need to get antsy. If you're not getting value quick enough, I'd say just make sure you're shooting anytime and actively trying to maybe even go for kills anytime your team doesn't need healing, right?
Oh, I just pressed it shift too late.
So shifting sooner, you have immortality field as well, right?
Uh-huh.
Paying attention to your surroundings, so noticing the tracer on you quicker. Yep. With with a character like Bap, you're going to be damaging anytime healing's not needed. So you just gotta watch for
Right.
that, and then looking for like kills anytime you're not.
Nice. See that? I should have saved for that. Because I knew I should have known that she was coming out to do that ult.
Mm-hmm.
She's getting really aggressive. And then kind of throwing it last second um, right before she set it down. So now we'll walk back.
Okay. Remember, ults that are used first are better than ults that are used second, generally speaking. If you use your ultimates first, you have the advantage because you can kill them and get value before they get value, and then they can't use their ults. So there,
Okay.
notice how they used Valk, they used Pulse, and then they won the fight before you got a chance. In the last fight, they used Service ult before you got a chance to do anything. Notice how we haven't used our ult in 2 fights, right? So
Uh-huh.
generally, start of the fight is the best time to use your ults. Mid fight is okay. Late fight is situational.
Let them out.
See, I should have put this on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a bad.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think maybe you're just not too used to his kit yet, but yeah, putting it further out so it can reach around that corner. But you got the timing down better, right? Start a fight best, mid fight okay, late fight situational, in between fights very rare. Note that I think we've been underutilizing Immortality Field, right? Like you've died multiple
Yeah.
times with it on available.
Stay near the immortality field.
You can come in this one, Michael.
Come to me.
So Ana can't get up there, so I'm gonna have her
Mhm.
push, and then
Feeling better? I spot an enemy. Over there.
Watch your health bar, you have shift, right?
yeah. So I'm gonna hug this left side, get out of
Mm-hmm.
sight a little bit.
I could use a heal. Get into the field.
Reality bends to my will.
Tactical visor activated.
We must move with the payload.
Usatsu Neo.
Yeah, she did it early.
Mm-hmm. You maybe try leaping out of it as an option, but also maybe just got a little too close to her.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Remember shift as well, right? Can be used when you're low, when you're a bunch of teammates around you need healing, or if they're all low, or if you need to burst heal somebody, it's gonna be handy.
Uh-huh.
So like if it's getting chaotic and there's like 3 people who need healing, just put a quick shift and then that gets everybody.
Okay.
Like new again. Regenerate. Well numbered.
Our time is up.
Mm.
So notice that concept once again. They come in, they use Dragon, they use Pulse right off the bat, and then they just kind of win the fight.
So let's go.
Yeah, I don't really know where to put. Like I couldn't. I felt like I couldn't get up enough to use window in like a way that was helpful.
Yeah, so in that fight it's hard. I was more so showing just the principle of how you can see it in action. Sometimes it's gonna be difficult to do it, but
Uh-huh.
being
I'm trying to
maybe being like further ahead, closer to your teammates, because Roadhog was like a pretty decent bit ahead of you. So being closer up to them can be helpful, so that you're with them. Is like one thing that could maybe help.
Okay. So here I feel bad because normally I let the healer whatever they picked on a fast and first last round, so I want to give it to them. What should I do here? Should I continue with Baptiste? Go Kiri? Let her play? Let them play Ana?
It's up to you. I mean, like, honestly, it's just gonna depend on, like, do you feel like you want to be flexible enough to pick whatever, or do you want to overcome the handicap of somebody else not playing on their main character? Maybe,
Right.
who knows if it is their main character? They could just like Ana or be trying Ana, and it's
Right.
not
I
who
mean, they
their
only
main.
died once. That's pretty good.
So then it just becomes like, okay, well, you can keep playing and getting better to the point in which you can just overcome the handicap of them not playing well on Mercy,
Uh-huh.
or you can just go the flexibility route and just play another character, pick up another
Okay.
character to learn.
So the way I see it is like this is like a exception or whatever. Um, because with Baptiste, I'm a little more comfortable with Kiri, but what the heck? That was a bad position.
Why so?
He died first. Clear shot for the sniper,
Out in the open.
and then I
Right.
made her. Yeah.
Thank you, Angela.
So here it's just like, yeah, this fight feels lost. Um,
Why does it feel lost? You have 4 people.
I know it's just like they're
Covering you.
okay. There we go. I don't know. I think just I don't know why I felt it was lost.
You just more so. I just like it. It's you can feel like you're at a disadvantage, so you want to play more passive.
Yeah.
But it's not lost inherently just because you're down somebody. Okay, if you want, you
But
can.
here it's
If you get the chance, you can rotate back over to that top left high ground in between the next fight.
oh,
I near that. I needed that.
Personne n'échappe à mon regard.
no, that's what 15 seconds, 235.
Well, notice from here you don't have line of sight on half your team,
Whining.
or on your Sigma especially. Notice once again we're letting them use ults first, right when we have nano available and ready to use.
Uh-huh.
So you want to be thinking in between those fights when you're 80% to nano boost, you want to be thinking, who am I nanoing for this fight? Right here, right, we're coming to this next fight. We want to be thinking, okay, who am I nanoing for this fight?
Bastion.
I'll keep you up.
Yep, Basher seems solid. So not before the fight begins, but when the fight has begun, then we can be nanoing Bastion.
Okay.
Healing you.
So like maybe when Sigma drops cart.
وريهم قوتك.
See, and then this Widow.
You're powered up. Get in there. Freeze. Don't move. أنا ما حدش يقدر عليا. Eyes on a target.
Oh.
Enemies in our orbit.
Something else to think about and consider is our team ended up like I think over ulting there. We used 4 ultimates to retake.
Yeah.
So just something to be careful about is watching. Okay, what's the flow of the fight?
Okay, that felt like my fault. Just not knowing where.
The Eye of Horus watches over you. Nodding off.
See, and then I'm worried with that Widow being right there. I can't. Yeah. And die on hill. Yeah, I just feel very awkward with this Widow on this map because I feel like I can't get that many good LOSs on my team.
Yep, you just got to be careful to. You want to try to find those positions. Remember where you can line of sight the enemy team while still seeing your team. Is where you're gonna try to go for.
And the other issue is like I feel like we're not doing anything about this Widow.
So maybe you can try to take once in a while, take some quick peek shots at her if she's not paying attention to you. Do some quick shots. That can put some pressure on her. You might not be able to win the duel, but if you're putting pressure, you get a shot or 2 on her, then that makes her back up and get healed. Just gotta be careful not to just sit there hard scoping on her. Yep, I think his positioning's pretty decent. You just gotta be careful of them diving you. Yeah, if you're being pocketed by Mercy, you might even be able to just like sit up there and shoot at Lucia. Good job. Yep, you did exactly what you should do. Just sit there, use your abilities, make sure your team support
Kind
you.
of body block it.
Hmm.
All right. Winnable.
Maybe we could be just be a hair closer. Be playing on stairs.
Evidence suggests a sniper.
Oh no. Okay.
Yep. Look for sleep first, right? That gets some stuff. Think about maybe using ult if you need it.
I'm gonna see if. Okay, I'm gonna try to save it then. Nice. See, that was a dumb flashy nade, and that was a bad nade. Or sleep, I mean. Okay. So we still have nano for the last
Right.
fight.
Remember, we're positioning
Yeah,
for next
time
fight
to
here.
rotate.
So I think stairs is pretty decent here because you can once again LOS enemy team, but it gives you some rotation options, right? You kind of LOS that high ground that Widow's going to be on, right? But
Yeah.
then you can go back down to your team, go up to the top to the high ground.
My ultimate is ready. Get in the enemy inside.
Make sure you're not dying with ult.
Hold up. Get in there. Improve amen. Keep healing.
Use the sleep. Don't hold on to it.
Check in. Slow down. Enemies left here. I need with it.
Oh, I'm in a bad spot. Hmm.
The Eye of Horus watches over you.
That's tough.
Yep. So, I mean, I think that definitely could have been a winnable fight if we did a few things differently. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we ended up dropping from our positioning. We took a really long time to even think about sleeping the tracer, right? She was on you for a good like 10 seconds before we were attempting to go for a sleep, right? Which just means that's 10 seconds of tracer putting pressure on you when you can, if you're sleeping her in the first 4 seconds, you can
Uh-huh.
catch her out in a worse position. That's something else to think about sleep is that you did sleep her, but you also slept her
But she
when
had
she was
cover.
but when she had covered and your
And
teammates
right
could
by
get to her.
Mega.
Yeah. Whereas if you're sleeping her when she's on top of you and the ball when he's on top of you, then that's gonna mean that they can't really get to you. By the way, we probably won't have time for another full comp game
Oh,
here.
yeah. Of course.
But yeah, we can get to some wrap up stuff. Also, just remember to get that other quick shot in as well before on the tracer if you sleep her, because we just kind of slept her and then let her sit there. You can try
Yeah.
pinging her multiple times if that gets your teammates to look at her. If Mercy damage boosts you or shoots her with you, which Mercy did go over and shoot at the Mercy or at the Tracer, then you can
Uh-huh.
kill her with the shoot nade, right? You can kill her without even needing anything else, just before she even gets
I'm
up.
sorry.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, that was on me.
Oh, okay.
I thought I pressed stop streaming.
Yep.
But yeah, okay, that makes sense.
And then besides that, I mean, like there were some time, and then like maybe abilities and landing shots. There were other things like that too.
Yeah. I think if this makes any sense, like obviously every fight's kind of like a puzzle, yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
I will not
and
leave the broken world.
or no, not. It's just like I can't figure out how to kind of look at the fight and break it down efficiently.
The right gun.
Is kind of what I'm trying to say, and I think I tend to over-examine the fights so much so that like I just don't examine anything, and it's all kind of jumbled. So like I didn't even notice the Mercy went to the Tracer, right? Just because I'm so preoccupied with like what's going on up front, but then because of that, I didn't see what was going on up front. So it's almost like not that I black out or anything, but it's like then I'm just not looking at anything
Tunnel
in
visioning.
particular. Yeah, but in a way, I'm like tunnel visioning nothing. It's very weird, but it's like I can't. I feel like I need to slow down and kind of learn how to efficiently observe a fight as a support
Mm-hmm.
player.
Yeah, I mean, like that's really like you said. It's a big thing is to just not. You don't have to overthink it. You don't have to analyze it as if it were a replay, where you can theoretically go into a replay and break down a single fight for an hour, right?
Right.
If you take the time and focus on everybody's perspectives and things like that. But you don't have to do that while you're playing. The big thing is you just want to think about the most important thing for the moment, and
Hmm.
when you're trying to improve, a lot of the time that's just thinking about the thing you're supposed to be thinking about, right? The thing you're trying to
Yeah.
improve on. But then, besides that, if you sleep the tracer, maybe focus on trying to get the tracer killed. Or if a tracer's on top of
Hmm.
you, focus on getting the tracer. If your teammates are low HP, focus on healing your teammates. You just want to kind of shift your priorities to what's the most important thing for the moment.
Hmm.
But awareness in general of paying attention to your surroundings is going to come by just keeping your eyes open and paying attention to what's happening. So,
Right.
like we said before, I think that overall you have a lot of different things that are pulling your attention, and I think you just need to kind of
Hmm.
take them one by one. I think
Uh-huh.
the only thing that I'd say you really don't need as much help on is just the raw mechanics, but I think everything else is just needs a decent bit of work, and just take it one by one, focus in on them, and then work from there. Even like we were saying before, even in those games, like positioning, honestly, seemed a bit decent. But we know from the last session, just like 2 days ago, the positioning wasn't as decent, right?
Uh-huh.
And therefore, I'd say just like I said before, give it a couple more days on positioning, and then move on to the next thing, because then your positioning will be pretty decent, and then whereas maybe your ult usage is not that great, and then you'll get your ult
Hmm.
usage up to being pretty decent, and then you'll
Hmm.
get your ability usage up to being pretty decent. I guess to put all that in order really quickly, I'd say focus on your positioning first. Honestly, I'd say think about your ult usage next after that, because ult usage I think could have been a lot better.
Uh-huh.
Remembering that don't hold on to it. Ults that aren't used don't get any value. So if you're going 2, 3 fights without an ult, that's maybe a full second ultimate you could be getting in that time.
Right.
And that's also a lot of times we're like losing those fights where we could have used it but we're not using it. Um,
Uh-huh.
so make sure you're not holding on to it. Then also just make sure that you're using it at the start of the fight. Mid fight's okay, late fight situational. Press tab and pay attention to what you can combo with, and think about that, right? Like we didn't nano that soldier the whole game, even though we had
Hmm.
that, like that you yourself called that out at the very beginning of the game. This is the best target, and then you never once actually did it. In 10 minutes with like maybe like 3 soldier ults. So you just want to make sure that you're
Right.
actually using it on the person you want to use it on.
Okay.
Um, then next after that probably comes ability usage, then awareness. Awareness just being also like one of the harder things to work on. Um,
Right. I feel like that just kind of comes with experience, or at least part of it,
mm,
and just kind of getting a feel for things.
Not tunnel visioning on it, and then as well as just like
Yeah.
generally keeping your eyes open and thinking about your surroundings.
Right.
Um,
That makes sense.
yeah. Any final questions on anything?
Um,
Nodding off.
Not necessarily a question, but I'll schedule the next one at least a week out,
Mm-hmm.
just so I can really kind of, or yeah. One question is, do you think I'm better off just doing quick play, so it's kind of like a low pressure environment, and I can focus even more on what's going on
Um,
and kind of like what I need to work
yeah.
on, or is comp?
If you feel like you're not focusing on it in comp, then you can do quick play. Obviously, quick play is not going to be as competitive, and you might find it easier and less punishing. So, like for example, with
Right.
positioning, they might
Yeah,
not
like
punish
that's the
you as
other
hard.
side of the coin.
Um, so I would just say like try comp and just make sure you're coming at it with that improvement mindset and reminding yourself as you're playing. Give yourself those active reminders, and then if you just can't seem to focus in comp, then you can try quick play. It wouldn't
Okay.
be horrible, if you did have to do quick play.
Hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
All right, anything else?
Cool. No, I think that's it.
No? Okay.
And
Go ahead.
I just hope